Hello, and welcome to our course entitled Urbanization in Africa, the Art of the Possible. Drawing on examples from Cape Town, Nairobi, Port Harcourt, and Durban, the aims of this course are to introduce the realities and promises of urbanization in African cities, unpack informality as a core condition of urban life in Africa by looking at informal work in Durban and informal human settlement service delivery in Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Thirdly, explore multidimensional inequality through an understanding of spatial inequality in Cape Town, and then surface responses to climate emergencies in both Nairobi and Durban. And lastly, providing examples of the art of the possible by looking at how institutions organize, how alternative diagnostics can shape relevant responses, how these are enacted, and what we can learn in order to adapt. This course consists of 5 modules. In Module 1, we ask, what are the promises and realities of urbanization in Africa? This module introduces the promises and realities of urbanization in Africa with specific reference to gender, youth, and making a life in every African cities. We show how informality is the predominant form of urbanization and what this means for urban dwellers seeking livelihoods in these cities. We use the illustrative story of making a life in Nairobi to demonstrate the visceral realities of urbanization. We also introduce the SDGs and Agenda 2063, focusing on SDGs 1 to 7 and of course 11 that deals with sustainable human settlements. We highlight that addressing the SDGs on gender and inequality within an urban context can unlock the poverty goals in Africa. We then move on to Module 2, where we ask, how does informality influence everyday life in African cities? In this module, we explore productive ways of approaching informality. We demonstrate how urban dwellers might live and work informally and how this is not disconnected from the formal. We use pointed examples from Port Harcourt and Durban to demonstrate different dimensions of informality. It is certainly not just one thing. In Durban, we see how walking alongside the needs of informal traders can lead to innovative infrastructural improvements. The case of Port Harcourt further highlights the importance of documenting informal services in human settlements and the benefits of mapping as a method of inquiry for research outcomes that can also have a policy impact. In Module 3, we ask, how are cities addressing spatial inequality? Here we look at how cities are addressing spatial inequality using the case of Cape Town. Cape Town is emblematic. It presents cross-cutting and multidimensional aspects of spatial inequality, which impacts on access to health, education, income, and services. We use the example of Ndufuna Ukwazi and the Tafelberg affordable housing case, which highlights the struggles for justice and redress in a very divided city. In Module 4, we then turn to ask the important question of, how are cities responding to the climate crisis in Africa? In this module, we introduce how climate emergencies shape urban life in Africa. We take a specific look at climate change and extreme weather events through the case of flooding in 2 cities, Durban and Nairobi. These cases explore holistic responses to climate change through participatory practices to building a more climate and water resilient future. And finally, in Module 5, we return to the idea of the art of the possible, asking how systemic change can be achieved in urban Africa. In this module, we provide examples of the art of the possible by looking at how institutions organize, how alternative diagnostics can shape relevant responses, and of course, how these are then enacted, and what we can learn in order to always adapt and improve our practice. In each of the modules, we have curated a series of inputs from experts, gathered useful multimedia and reading material, and developed short activities for you to engage with. Please see the module notes and instructions within the portal for the details. Watch, read, listen, immerse yourself, and enjoy. We hope you will find our course insightful and that you are able to find resonance and relevance for the cities you come from.